Suspected militants fired 2 rockets in Manipur's Bishnupur district on Friday, hitting the home of the state's first chief minister. The attack killed 1 person and injured 5 others. The attacks have heightened tensions in the Imphal Valley region, which has seen an escalation in violence over the past few days. Earlier this week, drones, were used to drop bombs in nearby areas of Imphal West district. Thousands of people across 5 districts formed human chains on Friday protesting the ongoing attacks. In response to the unrest, the Manipur government has ordered the closure of schools today. Violence continues to hit this tiny northeastern state of India, Manipur. It was in fact last year in May when the unrest began, even though the state government is trying its best to bring back peace to this beautiful state of Manipur. But these incidents continue to take place. And in the latest, 1 person was killed in rocket attack by Kuki insurgents in Manipur's Bishnupur district on Friday. 1 person was killed in the attack and 5 people were injured in this unfortunate incident. An elderly man, in fact, according to reports, who was offering prayers, was killed in a rocket-propelled bomb attack by Kuki insurgents. 5 other people, including a 13-year-old girl, said to be injured in the attack, which took place on the lakeside town in Bishnupur district, 35 kilometers from the state capital, Imphal. Now, do remember, in fact, earlier as well, there were, just this week, in fact, drones were used to drop bombs in nearby areas of Imphal West district. This 13-year-old girl is the second minor who has been injured in drone and rocket attacks in the last 5 days by Kuki insurgents. The rocket struck the house of Manipur's first chief minister, just 100 meters away from the Indian National Army Museum in the heart of the Moirang town. And in fact, tensions continue to escalate in Manipur. The sources, in fact, reports have quoted sources as saying that the INA museum was the likely target of the rocket attack, but residents said the rocket came from the direction of the hills. This is what, in fact, the residents have said, suggesting that indeed the target was the INA museum. The Manipur government, owing to the situation, has announced shutdown of all schools today due to the rocket and drone threats. The police in fact said that the Kuki insurgents also fired several rounds from the hills towards Bishnupur district, prompting security forces to retaliate. Let's go across to Mr. P.K. Mishra, who joins us, in fact, live on more on this. A very good morning to you, Mr. Mishra. This is a significant escalation. You know, this all began on the 3rd of May and it continues. The violence continues to hit this tiny, beautiful northeastern state in India. Do we see peace returning to Manipur anytime soon?
I can well tell you, let me be very frank in telling, peace is not returning to Manipur. I repeat again, peace is not returning to Manipur till government doesn't close or doesn't deploy a border guarding force in Myanmar and Manipur border, which is completely open. And you have militants coming with drones and RPGs. They have already come. And they are being helped by the local Kukijo groups. And just see, we had first attack on drone, then next day, about 5 or 6 drone attacks were there in the same area, and now the rocket propelled gun was utilized from the Pongal area, from Torbuk Bungalow. I am clearly telling you from where the rocket was fired on Koireng's, first CM Koireng's residence nearby, where the INA museum is there at Moirang, where for the second time Indian flag was hoisted by Colonel Malik, being directed by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and the target was that only. And RPG is available in abundance, which have come from Myanmar through the open border to these militants, and they are utilizing this. We have 60,000 police forces, security forces in Manipur, and I am telling you, if the coordinated action can be conducted and the counter-insurgency operations can be conducted on the hills, and the border has to be closed by a border guarding force, this type of situation will never be there, and peace will never return, because it is not only cookie groups or cookiejo groups are involved or Maitis are involved. Here China is involved. Here America is involved. Here China has sent all these weapons through these rebels which have come from Myanmar with the weapons. Here America is interfering to make a Christian state, taking these areas from Manipur. So I'm telling you, even in 2023, when the first problem started, there were two journalists of United States, they visited Churachandpur. It shows US is keeping a track, and the funding is coming from CIA. I repeat, funding is coming from CIA, and it is coming to all these militant groups, those who are available in all these hill areas. And once we know from where the rockets are being fired, once we know from where the drones have come, the security forces must climb up. They must go to Moldak. They must go to Henglep. They must go to Sajik Tampak. They must go to Bihang. They must go to Chapti Karan. And they should have counter-insurgency operations on the hills in the villages. And by the way, it has to be carried out when the border is sealed, border is closed by a border guarding force. That has to be done. And in the meantime, the political dialogue between cookies and Maitis must continue by the politicians from both the sides, and that is what the government should do it. And I can well tell you there may be something wrong with the unified command if such things are happening. And this is Moirang, the rocket to Moirang cannot come from the hills. It has come from Torbuk Bungalow area, where Pangals are there. They are a party to the Cookiejo community. So we have to be very careful. And of course, most of the people in nearby areas, they have been advised not to come on the roads. So they are doing their best. But we have lost a person at Moirang, and this is too much. That means proper field intelligence is not coming. Otherwise, these areas could have been cordoned.
Mr. Mishra, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you, but this is very important for us to stress on it. The rocket struck the house of Manipur's first chief minister, just 100 meters away from the Indian National Army Museum in the heart of Moirang town. And there are some residents who suggest that in fact the target was not the chief minister's residence, but it was the Indian National Army Museum. And no, my question is not this. Earlier this week, drones were used to drop bombs in nearby areas of Imphal West district. I'm going to ask you a straight question. Were the forces caught off guard?
Yes,
why weren't we prepared?
I told you very clearly, the target was INA Museum. Because when I was DIG and IG Manipur, my post was there in INA Museum. I know it pretty well. Where is INA Museum? My company was guarding it. Later on, I'm telling of 2002, 2003. But of course, that was the target. But the problem is, field intelligence is not coming. I repeat, from the cookie-dominated area, field intelligence is not coming, where the local security forces who are deployed for more than 50 years, perhaps they are lacking. They are not getting field intelligence, and They are not going to all these areas where poppy cultivation was conducted, and they were, I mean, people are, these militant groups, they were getting 70,000 crores per year. Those areas to be sanitized, and in fact, we should have some more, field intelligence from the villagers. We have to win the heart of few personnel from the opposite side from where we can get the intelligence. Earlier also we were getting it. Perhaps there is a lack in that, and perhaps the counterinsurgency operations between the coordinated counterinsurgency operations, perhaps it is not being conducted. Otherwise, so many attacks could not have been there. And this attack on Moirang, nearest to the INA museum, it is the same. I repeat, it is the same. It should not have happened. And it has come from more or less 15 kilometers area, from 10 to 15 kilometers range, it has come. And that is about Torbung Bungalow and Turunglobi area. I repeat, Torbung Bungalow and Turunglobi area. The areas should be sanitized. And those areas, I know it pretty well, the militants are available. It could have been sanitized because the rocket launchers, the RPGs are available there only. So they could have been definitely traced. So this requires field intelligence, the local intelligence, where we should give more stress, and then we should take action for counterinsurgency operations with a good coordinated effort of all paramilitary forces and state IRBs and state police concerned. I hope they should wake up and do it and climb up to the hills. I repeat, climb up to the hills, and border to be guarded properly. Border to be guarded on BOP scale, border outpost scale, not company located BOPs, company located areas where it is 5 kilometers away from the border. That way you cannot guard the border. It requires Myanmar border to be sealed because Chinese involvement is there, and now Bangladesh will also come. The Chittagong Hill Tract, now the jihadi camps again, Muhammad Yunus and Begum Jia, they will start, and their entry will also be there to through Mizoram to Churachandpur and these areas. So we have to be very careful on Gutte Road and Tidim Road. I repeat, Gutte Road and Tidim Road. They are the two roads which are being utilized by the militants who are coming from Myanmar and those who are crossing the border in Mizoram and coming to Churachandpur using Tidim Road and Singhat and Jijo. Singhat and Jijo. These areas, they come. Yes, tell me anything. Any question?
No, thank you very much, Mr. Mishra. For now, unfortunately, I of course have a lot of questions, but I'm short on time. Thank you very, very much for joining us. That was Mr. P.K. Mishra, former IG BSF Manipur, who's sharing his insights on the current situation, the current unrest in Manipur.